Hey everyone, I'm feeling good. I'm a little distracted because I'm in my sister's house for a few days, and it makes me some distracted changing home. And yeah, I would pass it to Lauren yourself, or your. Do you hear me? Yeah. Hello everyone. I'm good. I'm just want to focus on the priorities, and I maybe my job is probably well defined. I just had to put it off. Uh, I need to implement something in the smart contracts, and yeah, we will discuss it. And I'm happy to give you the report of what has happened and what we should do next. I pass it to Mitch.
Sorry, my computer froze. My distractions is that I'm tired and in an airport, but I'm here to see what you guys are up to and maybe talk about how we need to move forward with the issues regarding Frame and the RDAO agent. And I think I was the last one. Did you go?
No, you had to, Donna or Mia.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, hi everyone. Well, I'm feeling good and I'm here to sync up with everyone and see how I can support. And yeah, that's it. I pass it on to Mia.
Hello everybody. I'm just distracted by a really beautiful view of Lake Atitlan. But at the same time super focused and just here to take notes and keep up to date. And I'll pass it back to Lauren.
Oh wow, the birds in Mia's background are great. Awesome. Okay, well thanks everybody. Cool. So let's just get started. I already had the RDAO agent thing on the agenda, so we can get through that as we go through it. So first thing I wanted to talk about is the project management. So there's this Give economy board that Donna created, which is up and running right now. I added a bunch of issues to it yesterday. I synced up with Griff and I got just like sort of more ideas of all the things that need to get done and added a bunch of issues and started assigning people to them. So I think it would be really awesome if we could start to use the ZenHub board for a lot of our communications and then also make use more of the Give economy channel so that we could be a little bit more transparent with our discussion. I think what's happening right now is like most of the Give economy communications are happening in DMs. And so it's like really hard to like bring that all together. So I think it would be awesome if we could all start using that ZenHub board. So if you haven't taken a look already, take a look at the board. And I think it still needs some, like a little bit of restructuring. I'm going to talk to Donna about it, but that's there. That's all. So, okay, cool. Let's move on to the give drop stuff. Outstanding for the distribution are like there's still these forum posts that are there. There's still a vote still open for the vesting parameters for current contributors and still discussion going on with the strategic partners. I saw that Mitch had added a post on the forum, but I think this is still ongoing. And then for the current contributors distribution, just to make the numbers round, everybody got a 5% addition to the tokens that they're getting allocated as current contributors. So that's the only update on that post. But upcoming, I'm gonna like work with Griff or help create a forum post that includes a summary, like especially after the strategic partners discussion, that includes a summary of all of these different the distribution to all of these different pools, and including the Give farm, the distribution for the Give farm. So like how much is going into each of the pools from the total allocation to the Give farm, and then also like what's getting allocated for each of the 2-week periods. So that's going to be combined into one distribution forum post, and this is sort of like happening now, soon. So if you guys still have any more comments and you want to check out those forum posts that are linked in there, it would still be useful to do so. Yeah, thanks. And then, yeah, so, okay, and so about the Give drop, I wanted to actually ask, because I remember a long time ago, I mean, there was a deployment of the Give drop, like you created it like with like Netlify, and I don't know if it's something that we can test or because it was already developed, I think, the Give drop, right?
Yeah, it's universal. The link is, I can share with, what is the name? I redeployed the smart contract again. So if you had claimed before, you should claim again. And let's visit. Where to put it?
Maybe
I send you.
There's an issue in the Give economy board, issue number 75. Maybe you could put it in there. I can. It's linked from here in the notes under deployment. So we could still test that, and I think there were maybe some like tweaks or changes to the design. Cherik did the front end development, right? This.
Cherik?
Hi.
So you are with me?
Yeah, I was asking. Cherik did the front end development of this of the Give drop, right? So I think that maybe there were some changes to the design. So I guess I would get in touch with Cherik about that, about updating it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, okay. I can ask him to join here too. We can add him permanently to this task because he should join. Mm-hmm. Let's ping him. By the way, you can contact him directly and have a conversation around it. Let's ping him to join.
Okay, that sounds good. But basically, it's all like, so it's deployed on Rinkeby, and we can go and claim our Give drop again. You're saying we have to claim our Give drop again. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Cool. So that's something that we can also just test this week.
Yeah, I put in the issue. So I put the link in the issue. If you like, I can mention it in the documents too, in the Notion too. Okay,
perfect. Thank you. Great. Okay, awesome. And then so the next thing for the Give drop is the RGiv, all of the stuff with the RGiv DAO and what, like I had made some issues, and I think this is what you're asking about, Mitch. And basically, so the RGiv DAO is going to have tokens that that it's going to have to distribute, so they're going to have to, it's going to have control over different things. Like one is if the Give drop gets allocated to an address that isn't that person's address, the RGiv DAO should be able to change the address to an updated address. And this is going to be the case for a lot of people, people who we don't know the addresses for. We're putting in dummy addresses, and then when they get in touch with us about the Give drop, we're going to have to change their addresses. So it's going to be something that we have to do for sure. So we want to use the Rinkeby RGiv DAO and just test to make sure that we can actually use the DAO to reallocate the Give drop to new addresses. So Griff was like, Mitch and Bowen will do this. And I was like, hey, Mitch, do you feel equipped to do this? Do you have any questions?
I mean, I have lots, but I probably have to talk to Bowen.
Okay, cool. Well, if you can talk to Bowen, and then I think Amin will be able to help as well, because he's familiar with the smart contract. So if you get in touch with Amin and with Bowen, that would probably be good.
Yeah, and honestly, Amin is going to have to help a lot because, I don't even think we have a distribution for RGiv right now. So, we would need to, we need to figure out exactly how we can take a distribution that was given to RGiv, or maybe it doesn't go to RGiv. Maybe it's just zero, it goes to 0x whatever. But we need to be able to take that distribution and then divide it into 100 parts and give it out to give back recipients, right? So our give down needs to be able to take a distribution and then allocate that to 100 give back recipients.
Yeah. So there's I made another issue for like the give back specific one, and then there's a separate issue for like changing addresses for the give drop recipients. And then there's one more thing that the R give down needs to do. We need to make sure that it can actually claim its give stream, like have access to it. Yeah. Cool. Okay, so I know you're going to have lots of questions. And then this was still here on Bone to hold a workshop using Frame as an agent. Is he still going to do this, or are we... I'm not sure. Or is it just like he's trained Mitch how to do it and then...
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, you showed me how to do it, but I don't know what's the workshop thing.
Okay, well, maybe I'll just touch base with him and see if he still wanted to show other people who might be interested. Okay, cool. Awesome. So are there any more questions on anything to do with the give drop there? Whether it's the RGIF stuff or the deployment or the distribution? Cool.
Not in this call.
Cool. I have lots of questions about that too. I'm like so curious about how this works, but awesome. Right, let's go on to the Give Garden then. So Cherik is working on the front end implementation. Yeah, it would be really nice if Cherik... Oh, Cherik, you're here! So glad to see you. Welcome.
Hey, how are you? Thank you.
Great. So you're just in time. Do you have any updates? Have you been able to work at all on the Give Garden front end development?
Sure. Excuse me. It's not scheduled for me. I'm not in the case. I don't have it in my calendar, so I'm late. Inform me we have a meeting. Excuse me.
Maybe can you send your email to Donna? Would you be able to try to get Cherik on the invitations?
Yeah. Thank you.
Maybe, so get Donna your email and then she'll make sure you're on there.
Sure. About the update, I'm working on the design system, implementing design systems. So I have a delay for starting implement of Give Gardens because it's depend on the design system. I think the design system will finish about 2 days later. What happened?
Oh, no, I'm just like, Mia's taking notes and sometimes I forget and then I step on her toes and I'm like, sorry, Mia.
Yeah, okay.
All good.
If you have any question, I can answer.
Wait, so Cherik, you're delayed because Mosaidi is still creating the design components. Okay, cool.
Yes, and I want to say I'm implementing design system. If you want to know more, I can explain what is it. We are working on a separate package because all of our design systems is used in all of our projects. So I make a separate project and publish an NPM package. So if I implement a component in design system, all of our projects, Giveth IO, Give Economy, and other projects can use them. So I have a delay because of this.
So basically you have all of the designs that you need from Mosaidi, but you're still having to like develop all of them so that you have this design system components library that you can use when you're doing front end dev work. Okay. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Do you know what's your progress on that, or how much longer you think it will take until we at least have this design system components package ready?
I think it has two days to finish design system components only.
Okay, cool.
After that, I can.
Yeah. Okay, that's awesome. And then after that, you'll start on the Give Garden and farm and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
So, perfect. That sounds great. Good to know.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for the update.
Can I put some comments? Implementing the design system is a big improvement in QS whole ecosystem. Holding you front end development, because after that, for every component we just implement once, and that will be imported in all the UI projects, and that will make that will facilitate and make the implementing UI very faster after it. Thank you, Cherry, for that huge improvement.
Yeah, thank you so much, Tarek. Amazing work.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, awesome, cool. So let's move on with the garden. So the other things that are happening with the garden. So I know you're investigating, looking into deploying the external gardens, and then having this token deployed on Rinkeby that matches the output of the XDI bridge, and then seeing if we can wrap it and use it in the garden. And I would love to know where you're at with this. If you have any questions, if you need any support. Amin?
Yeah, yesterday, we had some issue in building the garden using the when we had minimi token. Today I deployed the new smart contract. I verified it, and I'm trying to deploy again. I have not been successful yet, but I am trying. It's a little slow. The procedure is slow. It's deploying again and testing. So I'm trying again and again. Okay. That's it. Also, yeah.
Do you need any help? Have you gotten in touch with Gabby or if anybody else from the Gardens team that might be able to support? Or maybe that Bright
I was
ID
connected
guy?
with Sam. I connected Sam. I connected with, Yesterday we had a good conversation with each other. It helped me.
Okay, cool. Well, if there's anything that I can do to help coordinate more support, if there's anything just let me know.
No, I'm just trying to do the guides, implement the guides, and we'll see what happens next, and whether I'm again stopped by something or not.
Okay.
But yeah, I need a little time to test myself.
Okay, sounds good. Cool. Awesome. And then, so the other thing for the gardens that I created an issue for is this just the rewarding the people who are doing the garden staking, because we need to add this give stream as well to that. I guess this is just all related, right?
Sorry, what?
So the other issue that there is for the Give Garden is rewarding people who are staking their tokens or wrapping their tokens who are then voting in the Give Garden. And I think that this is just related to. Yeah,
the final decision by Sam is to follow the regular what was that? The regular garden and change the pool address after that, because before you onboard new user, you don't need voting for changing that amount, for changing that configuration. So we can replace the garden unipool with our unipool. Also, the unipool which will be used there should be a little different with what we are using for other LP providing, because we should not allow user to directly stake and unstake to our unipool, which is used by Garden, because it's it should go through the interface of the Garden. Garden has some interface which you should when you want to put money to inside the Garden to do voting, your transaction. Sorry, Mitch, can you mute? There's some noise from your side. Thank you. Yeah, when you want to use the Garden, you put money via their their what's the name? It's Gateway. I don't know what's the name of the contract. It's Wrapper. Wrapper do the staking for you, and it's use another function, another method rather than stake and unstake. and we should block direct stake and unstake for that unipool. So in our farming web, in our Give farming page, also we should use that wrapper again, and not use this the previous routine for to put money inside the pool and withdraw it.
Okay, I think I more or less understand, but you're also saying, I was a little confused. So people are still going to be like wrapping their tokens via the Give farm, and then those tokens they use in the garden, right? It's not happening in the garden's interface.
It will be yes. Garden will have something. We should implement that in our page again. Because smart contracts exist in the network, Garden use that smart contract. In our web page, we should use the same smart contract that Garden is using, the same wrapper. So we should implement that interaction in our web page again.
It'll be on the Give farm and the Give garden. People who are staking on the Give farm, they'll be wrapping their tokens just like they'd be clicking the buttons on the Give garden. They'll just be the same button. Well, the same function will be called in two different pages.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Cool, awesome. Well, thank you for the update, Amin. Are there any other questions or additions regarding the Give Garden that I missed?
No, actually.
Awesome. Cool. Give farm. So, I guess I saw that there was an issue where Mateo was like checking over the code or like testing the back end of the Give farm before we can have it like deployed in Rinkeby, or like before we can have it like developed and then like deployed for testing. Is that what's happening there?
I put comment in the post. The most thing is should consider is that the UI is just simple, and some minimal UI is implemented in order to test a smart contract. What is important is testing the API calculation. I have updated the post actually, and it doesn't need to be mentioned in the document there again. But I mentioned, the list of the functionalities that should be tested.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Cool. And then, so I already know that the front-end implementation is waiting on these design components to be finished. And and then I just made a new issue so that like once we have all of this ready, we can like deploy it on Rinkeby and Kovan for testing. But that's going to come later, clearly. Is there anything else for the Give farm? Oh, I mean, you were looking also into this like UniV3 pool thing.
Hopefully Griff connected me to someone who is master on this. Their practice is straightforward. When someone describes that for you, it's complicated, but you don't want to be involved in that complexity much. There are some interface that is well known. It is rather easy to use. The only difference is that the reward of the Uniswap version 3 Uniswap version 3 farm is calculated by Uniswap itself. You don't have sense of how much reward should be paid to the staker because it's a little complicated. When you put money inside the Uniswap version 3, you define a range. It defines in which range of price your liquidity providing will be used. For instance, in Ethereum and DAI, if you want to put liquidity, you can define some bound. If, for instance, the price goes up much, you will not sell your Ethereum under the price. So it's makes a little complicated the reward, but hopefully Uniswap calculate that reward for you. And that reward is constant. So we should translate that to token distro, our string. By the way, overall, the the key point is that the reward of the Uniswap pool should be constant during the 36 weeks. Yeah, what's that? Sorry, 32 weeks.
Yeah, 26. So let me
26.
break it down a little bit because it's a little complicated and there's a lot of moving parts. So we have the 5-year stream, right? But forget about that. We have a 26-week long liquidity mining program. And the original plan and the plan still is to change the amount that we reward every 2 weeks so that we can have it really high at the beginning and then taper off and then grow as more GIV tokens are released in the stream, so that we can kind of have an even APR. And we're kind of doing this wave thing that Mitch came up with is the plan. But because of the way Uniswap v3 works, we can't change the Uniswap v3 rewards every 2 weeks. It has to be constant for the whole 26-week period. And we have to set that 26-week period. Like, if we wanted to change the rewards, people would have to remove their stake and put it into a new deployment every time. So it's just off the table. So the current thought is that we will just keep the Uniswap v3 rewards constant and then vary all of the other buckets as we go. So the rewards for Uniswap v3 will start out relatively low while everything else is doing the wave, right? And so Uni v3 will start out low, but then as time goes on, it'll actually end up being higher than most things, and then the wave will kind of go around it. So that's the best we can do. And I think it'll work out. What it'll mean is that the Uniswap v3 pool will have a relatively low APR compared to the rest of the pools at the beginning, but very soon after, within about a month, it'll actually be higher than everything else. So it'll be like an interesting dynamic, but it will work.
Cool. Okay. And that makes sense. And so does that sound like we're probably going to use this for sure? The Uni v3 pool instead of the other one we were talking about?
What do you think, Amin? Does it?
There is another complexity. We should define the reward token. It's a special token. Then when is moved to when the Uniswap tells, okay, pay that reward. And when we are the transfer of that reward token should be implemented in a way that communicate with token distro to pay via that. And we should, I should write a smart contract for it, and people should review and see whether it's possible or not. Okay. But I think it should be possible.
Cool. Possible and awesome, yeah. Right? Like possible and we'd like it. Possible and probable.
Yeah.
So you're going to write a smart contract, and then like maybe Edu could review it or something.
Yeah.
How long do you think, when should I tell Edu that he should be ready to review all these smart contract changes? There's the token for Uniswap v3. There's the addition. We're going to end up with like 4 or 5 different Unipool contracts that all need to be reviewed because they're going to have some small changes.
Sorry, can you say that again? I think just we have one Unipool.
Well, there's going to be Unipool v3 for Uniswap v3, then right? Or
no, we don't. We will not have Unipool for that anymore, I guess.
Okay, cool. Okay, so that's just going to go straight to the distributor. So it'll be that token contract, basically.
Yeah, that's a reward.
And then we'll have the Unipool contract on mainnet for the balancer and Ethereum and staking pool. And then we'll have a Unipool contract on XDAI for the HoneySwap pools and then we'll have a unipool contract for the garden.
Yeah, we should just manipulate that to get some flag to whether ban the direct stake and withdraw. Maybe that's better. In the construct we pass that flag and say, is it possible to stake directly and withdraw directly or not? Sam's proposed that. I guess it's a better way in order rather than define a new smart contract changing. Maybe it's a little slower because it needs another storage, but it's not a big deal, I guess.
It's on XDAI, so it doesn't matter. But so we'll only have one unipool contract for HoneySwap and the garden.
Yes.
Okay. But so we'll need all of those things reviewed by Edu because they all have some custom solidity in them. So like, when do you think I should tell Edu, hey, can you reserve like these 2 days to review our smart contracts?
Till his weekend, I hope. Yeah, till his weekend. I will try to write today and tomorrow. Actually, I have not implemented the Uniswap version 3 staking yet. I should try first, do it once today. And then, I should prioritize. First implement Uniswap or first implement the garden. Which one do you prefer?
I think Uniswap first.
Okay. I will do the Uniswap today and tomorrow.
I actually think the RGIV stuff might be the highest priority. Well, do that, but then when Mitch can work with you on the RGIV stuff, that's also a pretty high priority. So like making sure that we can distribute the token, use the token distro with the RGIV DAO, and how to figure that out, that's also a high priority. So
yeah. So I don't know, Mitch, when are you available for that?
Well, probably next week then, because if you're not around on Friday, then it'll have to be next week.
Cool. So this week I will focus on Uniswap.
That sounds great. Awesome. Thank you. Cool. Okay, so then should I also then maybe ping Edu and be like, hey Edu, maybe this weekend you'll have some time and could no, okay. Okay,
I'll
great.
ping him. I'm already pinging him.
Oh, good.
And not for this weekend. I'm gonna ping him for next weekend.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. So great. So then he can just do it all at once. Great, thank you, Irene. And all right, let's move on to givebacks. So I'm not so familiar with like what's going on with givebacks. I know that Mohammed, you've been working on the back end, and the only things I know is that there was this like converting scripts to an endpoint, which I think is done, and then you were going to use on-chain data to calculate the givebacks rather than like having it possible that the user could just hack the system and say they donated like 1 million ETH. But Mohammed, do you think you could give us an update on where you're at and if you need anything?
Lauren, you said you are right. I converted that to an endpoint and it works now. But I stopped that to adding verification of donations to Giveth.io, and after that I will dive to this project again to fix some little things. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. But I think most of the back-end development stuff is kind of almost-ish done, right, for givebacks? The Fabio script conversion is done completely, but we have faced some other issues. For example, conflicting between amplitude data and the result of giveback data and something like that. That I postponed that for after verifying Giveth.io donations. Okay. Okay, sounds good. Awesome. Is there anything else specifically for givebacks that needs to be spoken about?
No, I don't think so. If any other people have something, I don't know.
Okay.
The big thing with givebacks will be like, how do we actually distribute the stream? And that's the stuff that Mitch RGive, the RGive stuff. And I don't know, like, I feel like it might be nice to scale Amin a little bit because so much is landing on your shoulders, Amin. And maybe, do you think Muhammad would be able to understand the distro? Also, try to understand how the distro works, and like maybe figure out work with Mitch on the RGive stuff. That way, you could just focus on the Unipool contracts, and also it would just be good to have someone else understand these distros, understand more things in case you have to go on vacation or something.
Yeah, for sure. Archive is different than Guardian, right? Archive directly says token distro to say, I can tell them that, I can show them the smart contract and how we can, It's simple.
I'm interested.
Yeah. The idea is that we're going to mint 100 million tokens, right? And we're going to put all of those 100 million tokens into the distro. Now, in the current drop, you only put 15 million in because we were just testing out the airdrop stuff, right? But we're going to put all 100 million tokens into that distro, but most of them are going to be allocated later by the RGive DAO, right? Like 13 million will be for givebacks, for instance. And so we have to figure out, how do we do that? Like, how do we put 13 million tokens into this distro and then make sure that the RGive DAO has the power to distribute those tokens every 2 weeks to the people who are receiving the rewards?
Yeah.
And so that's the big question. And I think it'd be really cool. I don't know, Mohammed, if you're open to it, and but learning how this distro works and how the smart contracts work for the distro and the distributors. There's like the distro, which manages the stream, and then there's the distributor contract, which actually distributes the stream to people. And the RGive DAO basically has to have some sort of powers over the distributor to actually allocate this stream.
Yeah.
Would you be interested in diving into that, Mohammed?
Yeah, sure. I'm interested to dive into new things, something like that. Yeah. If had time and I was free, in the few weeks or few days, I'm pretty good with that. Pretty okay with that. Yeah. Thanks.
Monique is flipping out. I can tell. I know it. I'm still.
You are the best.
Monique, I want to have a sync meeting with you and talk about like resource planning and the things happening. Let's do that soon.
It's not just about asking the resources they can contribute or not, because we may have plan for them for the sake of the stakeholder too, and it is the matter. But let's discuss it and measure that we can handle it or not. I think we can do it, but we had a commitment for the Transact and the fiat, and I think it's a little bit scary if you don't have one.
Okay.
Maybe I could score some more back-end resources from the greater, like from General Magic or the Giveth community to support in some of this other like one-off stuff for the DApp, like Transact, for instance. Would that be helpful?
I just want to make sure that they don't ruin the code. They're all integrated with the team, with the standards, and we can reuse them after. Amin approved that. Okay, because Amin is the one who can confirm the quality of the code and code reviewing, etc.
I have some concern about USIO totally, and if we have not onboarded much there, because I have not used USIO much for a long time, and you are doing the test, and you know how much issues has been remained, and then as you said, it's a stakeholders need, and we can put resources for that. By the way, I don't think that such USIO issues will be solved in short term. We should, today, for instance, we discussed about how we can solve the issue regarding fake transactions and how they can be verified that, okay, the claimed transaction has happened. It needs implementation, testing, of course. By the way, I don't think maybe we should expedite the taking decision about hiring another backend developer. It's a government conversation, by the way.
It takes time. Let's solve our issue right now. We have to. Maybe we cannot deliver Transact. It's the only objection, because the team asked me at least 1 week just for researching the verification, and the verification is it's very important. After the verification, after 1 week we just start implementing the verification, and after that do some improvement in the backend side of the IO and doing the Transact. And I thought I can't. We can do it all this stuff if we use Mohammed in another project. Be aware that he's on doing the give drop right now.
Right, and there is a rule that if people are involved in many projects, their performance will be degraded. That's the term. When we recruited Mohammed and Rami, I emphasized at the first days to just focus on the Giveth staff, and that's the reason that resulted in such good improvement in the short time. After this, we cannot expect Mohammed or Ramin to have the same performance as before, but it will. We should keep it limited, the number of projects that someone is involved. It's my idea.
I think the reason
Sorry.
The reason that this came up in the first place, I think, is because it sounds like a lot of things are just falling onto your shoulders right now. For this, you're doing the RGIV, you're doing the Garden, the UniV3 stuff, you have to do all the smart contracts. So maybe, if we could just take the one thing, because Mitch is going to need support with this, RGIV controlling the treasury and distributing it and changing addresses thing. So do you think that you have still the bandwidth to support on that as well next week, and then spend this week working on UniV3 pool and the Gardens thing? And then so by the end of next week, then everything will sort of be ready and Edu can review the smart contracts? Or do you think that this seems or do you think
I don't think that it needs much development. Do you think that it needs development group for supporting our group?
I think it's going to be a rabbit hole, because we don't know exactly how we're going to do it. And so but the bigger concern that I have is more of a systemic issue of what happens if you have to be gone for 2 weeks and no one else knows anything about the smart contracts? Don't get me wrong. I like this idea of major concerns are here, but that is also that the yin to that yang is we have major risk on if someone's gone, then we are completely stopped. So It's like we
Yeah,
have
I
to
agree.
balance this idea of like, yes, everyone stays focused on their one thing versus like we have backups.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah, I agree with backup. Yeah, totally. Okay, I will. I'm up for helping Mohammed and Mitch for that stuff. Basically, the token history is simple. Hopefully, it doesn't have much methods. Yeah, the unipool is so complicated, but token history is simple.
Okay, awesome. So it sounds like potentially then Mohammed will support on the RGIV a little bit if Mohammed's cool with that, and still will have bandwidth for the Transact Fiat integration thing for Giveth.io. Yeah? Is everyone cool?
It has a risk. If you take the risk, it's okay.
Okay. Mohammed, are you cool?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Okay, we're all cool. We're cool. Yeah. Okay, awesome. So I think that's the end of givebacks. For the give stream, the designs are still in progress. Like Mosaidi is still working on a few different things, so I don't think there's anything else we need to touch on for that. Ashley's not in the call to update us on project verification stuff. Yeah, all of these things are like really Ashley things. I mean, it's like giving block integration, the project verification guide, she's working on it, and the Gemini, will Gemini accept give? She was going to have a call with them. I don't think anyone else has, unless anyone knows what Ashley did. I think I'll just have to check in with her. Okay, great. Yeah, and then
Did you pass the design part?
Pardon?
Did you pass the design section?
For the give stream? Well, I actually took out the design as itself section because it was all included in the other sections. But the designs, to update you if you want to know, the designs for the overview, for the give farm, and for the give garden are all done. And then still in progress is the designs for givebacks and the give stream. But Mosaidi is still working on it. And it's almost done in the Figma and just kind of like some copy fixes, and the give stream needs some tweaking.
Just to give you an update, Mosaidi, today send me the homepage of Giveth.io.
Yeah.
And okay, we have to be sync on it because it has a notification center, and I don't think we can deliver it.
Oh, okay.
Well,
I think the design for Giveth.io is maybe for another call, but
okay, sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, okay, so project verification, I don't think we can talk about it because Ashley's not here, but comms, yeah, the documentation is still in progress, making tracks on it slowly. There's a few things that we're just kind of like waiting until they're finalized until we can finally update it. And then I put this in here just for your general interest. I mean, I was working with Rodri to try to create like a give stream graphic. It still needs work, but this is like I think it would be cooler. The idea is it's like starting in the middle is like 10% of the tokens are released, and then by the time you get to the outside, it's like all the tokens are released. So it's like the Giveverse expands and like all the tokens then become available. But I think that it needs to be like a little more clear of like, that as you go radially out from the center to the edges, then it's like time goes on and more tokens are released. So I'm going to work with him to try to improve it. But anyway, I just put it there for your visual stimulation. Yeah, and the give drop video, I haven't touched base with Harry on it at all, but we're working on it. And I'm going to work on it next week. And I just wanted to also let you guys know that we're going to have a spotlight with OneHive today. They're like T-Wells from OneHive. They're doing these community spotlights, and so they're going to interview Giveth, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Give economy. So that's kind of cool and exciting. Yeah, and then just kind of like last things on here is IO stability. I don't really know like what to ask or to say specifically about this, but I think it's just like worthwhile including in the, that we need to ensure that the DApp is resilient and can handle the influx of like all these people in the give economy starts. I know it's something that we need to work on. I just don't know what the pieces of it are, or if anybody wants to speak to that. I know we're working on some of this with Giveth.io, but.
Well, we discussed last call with Ramin that essentially the main depths are from the backend and some styling besides that, I don't think that there is anything more that important for with resilience. So we are going to be working on that very soon. So yeah, I think that's a really short summary.
Nice.
Um, we created a technical debt epic, and under the technical debt epic, we added I think 6 or 7 issues, 4 from front end side, 4 of them from front end side, and 3 or 4 of them from the back end side. Muhammad added the back end side and can say about the details, but just improvements on the queries, I think.
Yeah, as you said, improving the queries and add some filters from getting entities. For example, if you want to, we fetch all the entities from server and sort that on the front end side. But if the entities numbers are become more, we should face problems. So we should get sorted list from the server. We need that. We need some changes on donations, as we said about verifying and something like that. And and I added in the epic 2 or 3 issue, but we had something more.
Okay, that sounds good. I mean, it sounds like you guys have thought about it pretty exhaustively. Okay, awesome. Yeah, I guess then the last thing that was on here is HR needs, and then we were talking about like maybe still looking for Solidity dev, or maybe still looking for a backend dev, and then maybe we're gonna hire a project verification person. I actually don't think anyone's checking the emails, so I wanted to just sort of like mention that, but I'm gonna maybe see. I'm gonna have a sync call with Dani and maybe see if she wants to kind of like man that ship. But are we still gonna be actively looking for these people, or like we even just talked about it, where or somebody was just saying that like maybe we don't need another back-end dev because it's better to just like kind of have people who are familiar with it working on it.
Sorry. I think we have to do this, but currently onboarding new people and having them in the team with this pressure that we have until launch, is a huge waste, I think.
Yeah.
And it takes time, so we can postpone it, I think.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, cool. So I guess this is just the consensus that we're kind of like not going to keep pushing this because this is relevant if I want to be like blasting it off with Twitter or like with comms asking for more applications, but maybe we just like kind of hold off on that. Okay.
Is there any backend devs that are onboarded already but do not currently contribute? Like I guess James, for instance. Maybe we could ask James to take on one task or someone like that. Is there anyone else that that is out there that we could just like beg for support from?
Kai is a developer. James, Carlos, Hadi. No, Hadi. No, sorry, Mehdi. And am I missed someone?
Merlin.
No,
Merlin. Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe we can reach out to those guys and try to see if they'd be interested, if they could give time. I mean, maybe we could just make a short-term, like 2-week push for them to come in, or and that might relieve some stress, or does that cause more problems than it's worth? Monique, what do you think?
If they can, if they're onboarded and they can contribute to the project and have no problem with the code, don't cause any problem for the others, it's very good. I support it. I just suggested that Kai just take the whole, what you call it, Transact, and I mean I approved it, I think. But I didn't float it. I don't know they have some contribution or not.
What's the status of Kai? He will not join us as a full time anymore.
No.
No, he will not. That being said, I do think that if we begged him to support, that he would.
So we need to hire someone. Yeah, because we need someone for supporting us on DevOps and monitoring systems. Yeah, maybe we should expedite the hiring. Monique, we should at least prepare the job description, spread it among people we know.
Just 1 month, man. 1 month. Today is October 6th.
The backend of Giveth.io is simple, and can onboard people there.
I think if we can consider a reward for current devs, it would be much more better if they can contribute more in the project. I don't think if you just to reach out somebody new and talk with him, it takes at least one week. You have to be very busy right now doing stuff right now. We don't have enough time for testing. Testing at least 2 weeks, to be honest.
Mateo, do you think? Have you heard much from Carlos?
Yeah, I've been talking to him, really busy with other stuff. If I can ask him and tell him that we really need it, maybe he can take it with more responsibility. But I can ask him.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe I can set up a call with him, and because that's what we really need is a full-time dev, and maybe I can basically bribe him in a way to work for Giveth and for a 2-month stint and try it out.
Yeah, I can give him a heads up, and you can test him also.
Monique and Amin, does Carlos feel pretty good to you guys still?
I guess Carlos onboarding. He's most of the time busy, and he needs some time even for himself to onboard JavaScript well. Because I interviewed him, so I don't know whether in 1 month it would be much helpful.
You could probably take on Transact, right?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, he has taken some responsibility on the impact graph. I don't believe that Transact should be much of a problem. And he was about to do the giving block integration. It's just that he hasn't given time. But if he has the talk with GIV and you succeed at bribing him, maybe he's more invested on it, not only like a side or job or something like that.
The dev call starting also now, so maybe we can, I don't know, maybe there's time in the dev call where we can continue this discussion at the end of the agenda, but just in the respect of everybody's time, I think we should close.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so if you want to talk more about backend developers and we have time at the end of the next hour, join the dev call. It's starting now in the dev chat.
Yeah. Come to the next house. Come to the neighbors.
Okay, bye everyone. Thanks for sharing.